Modern institutions, resource allocation, and technological design rely almost exclusively on a single metric of human potential, cognitive capacity. Relying on the traditional IQ model to evaluate that capacity creates a rigid bottleneck. When a system is placed under the stress of a nonlinear, complex environment, a single scalar number often shatters. Standard scalar testing identifies specific strengths in analytic, verbal, and mathematical reasoning. However, this narrow focus overlooks the functional intelligence required for creativity, physical embodiment, and human-AI collaboration. Philip Lillian's 2026 Rainbow Intelligence Spectrum, or RIS, provides a structural replacement for this scalar approach. This table identifies the shifts required to map modern intelligence. It moves from a static ruler focused on problem solving to a refracting prism revealing a multidimensional profile. Notice the icons on the right. This framework maps development for individuals, teams, and artificial systems. Building systems capable of surviving real-world complexity requires identifying exactly what kind of capacity is present, rather than simply measuring a total volume of processing power. Intelligence functions as a distributed array of specific domains, rather than a centralized, all-purpose processor. This diagram illustrates the horizontal architecture of the RIS, 9 distinct interacting functional bands. Red manages strategic navigation. Orange handles scientific engineering. Green focuses on philosophical meaning. Blue coordinates social persuasion. A healthy intelligence profile requires structural balance. When a single band operates without regulation from the rest of the spectrum, the result is a systemic failure of judgment. This chart classifies the pathologies that occur when highly developed intelligence lacks integration, a state called distorted expression. Strategic intelligence isolated from ethics degrades into domination. Analytical intelligence, stripped of broader context, becomes pure reductionism. Severe spectrum imbalances explain why brilliant organizations often become toxic. The failure is not a lack of cognitive power, but a lack of functional integration. Dividing intelligence into 9 bands requires a mechanism to prevent the system from fragmenting under pressure. This turbine diagram displays the metrics that bind the architecture. At the center is coherence intelligence, or CQ, the ability to retain unity across diverse domains. The vertical stack measures hyperdimensional cognitive density, or HCD, evaluating how many layers a mind can integrate before collapsing. Raw computational processing power is insufficient on its own. Without coherence intelligence, the system eventually shatters under the weight of its own complexity. This structural view helps explain a common professional paradox. Highly intelligent teams frequently fail to manifest their ideas in the physical world. The missing link is often structural persistence. While emotional motivation fluctuates, disciplined effort requires a functional mechanism that locks intention into action. The framework identifies this mechanism as the gold and white band, will intelligence. It acts as the mandatory bridging function between abstract thought and reality. This model illustrates the conversion. Raw cognitive potential, ideas and strategies, enters the will intelligence prism as a scattered stream of data. The prism transforms that potential into concrete, sustained action on the output side. At its peak, this results in regenerative manifestation, the capacity to organize and uplift reality without causing unnecessary destruction. Execution is a completely independent functional capacity. It does not occur as a natural byproduct of raw intelligence. It must be intentionally cultivated. Mapping the individual mind provides the foundation for evaluating larger external collective intelligence networks. Team intelligence occurs when differentiated spectrum profiles integrate into a single working coherent system. It is a collective engine rather than just a group of individuals sharing a room. This collective framework applies directly to our relationship with artificial intelligence. The AI profile on this radar chart reveals an extreme structural asymmetry. The star shape shows deep specialization in logic and data analysis, alongside a complete absence of grounding bands. High technical capacity devoid of ethical grounding or self-originating will is a civilizational risk. Managing this risk requires a move toward hybrid intelligence, or syntelligence. The syntelligence matrix divides labor based on spectrum complementarity. Humans provide lived meaning, values, and responsibility, While AI provides technical scale, memory, and pattern detection, these merge into a scintillegence core, achieving a recursive process where human meaning and artificial scale amplify one another. Future organizational survival depends on human meaning firmly regulating artificial scale. This prevents the collapse into shallow automation or ungrounded technical dominance. Knowing what kind of intelligence is present is the horizontal map. The final architecture requires a vertical measurement of how deep that intelligence operates. This vertical ladder represents closure intelligence. It measures cognitive depth across 7 distinct levels. The progression moves from basic operational arithmetic at the bottom through the modeling of invariance, and finally up to ontological generativity, the engagement with the foundational laws of reality. This risk summary plate unifies the horizontal bands, structural metrics, and the vertical depth ladder into a single architectural map. The formal equations demonstrate that risk is rigorously quantifiable. It defines intelligence as the weighted integration of coherence, dimensional depth, and manifestation power. Intelligence is a multidimensional coherent spectrum. Developing it requires the coherent integration of human, collective, and artificial capacities in service of the future.